So TurnMe Up Studios, the studio that ported Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, and Batman Arkham Knight, disastrously for Arkham Knight, by the way, all to Nintendo Switch. As of, I believe it was a week or two ago, the studio didn't release it, but the account for Batman Arkham on Instagram posted saying that there was a patch for Arkham Asylum, fixing the bugs and the glitches that happen over here and there. And then there'll be a patch for Arkham City and Arkham Knight. Now, at this point in time recording, the patch for City and Knight is not yet out. Now, I've not played Asylum since the patch release, so I don't know entirely if it fixed everything or not. I've heard that it has, but again, that's what I've heard. I would recommend, though, if you watch my video where I discuss Arkham Asylum on Nintendo Switch, I did say several times in that video that Arkham Asylum was not full, but there were a lot of noticeable glitches here and there and lags, especially if you play for several hours on end, you're going to experience them. I would assume those have been fixed because they were very minor things. It wasn't like a huge issue for the most part. But I would also assume those people who were experiencing major lag issues for Arkham Asylum have been fixed. As for City, I don't really know what can be fixed in City. I haven't really experienced any major lag in City. So, I mean, obviously some people have, I guess, and that's what they're doing. I haven't really heard anything about City, negatively at least. But, you know, I'm sure the patch will be done whatever needs to be done. I don't want to talk about Batman Arkham Knight because there is so much that needs to be fixed. And, look, I don't know how it can be done. I don't know what needs to be done, but Batman Arkham Knight can run wonderfully on Nintendo Switch. It can. And I know that because Crisis 3 is on Nintendo Switch. It is a beautiful, big game. If you haven't played Crisis 3, I really recommend playing it. It is a first-person shooter. It is really cool. It's an amazing game. And it literally looks like it's on a PS4 by Nintendo Switch. Obviously, some graphics here and there are a little bit downgraded, but it doesn't look like a PS3 game or a PS2 game. It legitimately looks like a PS4 minus like a year. Not like down to PS3, but like a year out from the PS4. Those kind of graphics. And it kind of looks like Arkham City graphics. So why can't Arkham Knight and Nintendo Switch just look like Arkham City? Because Arkham City really does look beautiful on the Switch. Could be better, yeah, but why couldn't they do that? I mean, the Batmobile? I mean, the Batmobile is a lag fest. I mean, that was a disastrous part of the game for me when I can't even drive the own damn car on the own damn street. I mean, that's a problem. And the Batmobile being the biggest part of the game, I mean, I got headaches from it. But not only that, the game in general looks like a PS2 game trying to catch up to a PS4, which is not good by any means. It is completely and utterly disgusting how it looks. And I don't know if it's the rain, because there's like a lot of rain, like more than I think Arkham Knight normally has. But I think for the Batmobile, what could easily be done is that you downgrade like the mechanics in the car, like the car itself. I don't know. I'm not a developer. I don't know exactly what's in the car, what made it so huge. But even Rocksteady said the car takes at least a gigabyte plus to be able to fit the car in. That's a massive amount of data for one car. So imagine that tenfold, like a giant blanking map on top of, 20 different side stories all happening at the same time all around, including several Batmobile missions, GCPD with several interior and buildings, and no loading times. That is a problem for Nintendo Switch. Now, if they do loading times, could it help? Yes. But how would it look? That entirely depends on TurnMe Up Studios and how well they go into it. Now, I don't think if they release a patch for Arkham Knight, unless they're working like really, really hard. I mean, this is like in the New Year and Christmas, like around that time. Unless they were working around that time zone, which I would be just surprised if they were, Arkham City's patch could be released probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks. But Arkham Knight, I think will take a couple months Because there's no way in hell, unless I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, but I don't see a way how Arkham Knight can get a patch and it just be done. There will need to be so many things fixed for Arkham Knight Nintendo Switch for it to run at least what I want to run at, which is like on a PS4, if not a little bit downgrade like Arkham City. That's all I'm asking for. It's just not that hard. Crisis 3 is either on the same par as Arkham Knight on the scale, minus, obviously, the map is maybe a little bit smaller on some references, but Arkham Knight can easily throw in loading screens for Nintendo Switch. Why don't you do that? Arkham City has them, and no one complained. Arkham Knight is too big of a game to just throw in all at the same time. And Turn Me Up, I don't think understood that, which is kind of irritating because they delayed the release of the whole trilogy, the main trilogy, on Nintendo Switch for Arkham Knight because it couldn't run. But they got it to run, but the thing is, it's so laggy, it's like, yeah, it runs, but like, at what cost? So if they couldn't fix something then, what are they going to fix now? Are they going to listen to some people and be like, well, maybe we really need loans because like I just brought up 3 times. I don't know what they can do to make Arkham Knight run better on the Switch. I don't want it to be taken off. I'd rather them work through the problems. Because genuinely, Arkham Knight is my favorite game in the history of gaming. For me. And so I don't want to see it be taken away. Because I've been fighting for it to be on Nintendo Switch for years. But the matter of the fact is that if a patch for Arkham City could very well be released, I believe, in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe even by next week. Maybe even this week. I wouldn't be surprised. Because there's not that many problems for City to fix. I think what Turn Me Up needs to be focusing on way more than Asylum or City is Night. Night should be the number 1 priority from beginning to end, not splitting up on Asylum and City. Those 2 games run pretty much perfectly on Nintendo Switch. Asylum, I would assume, more perfectly now than it did before the patch. And don't get me wrong, that's great, they're focusing on City too, but Night is the number 1 priority and should be the number 1 priority. Well, I don't know if it is, but it should be number 1 priority for them, considering it's the biggest screw-up in the history of Nintendo Switch. And that's saying something for the Nintendo Switch. I mean, we have had big games for Nintendo Switch, and it's all fall flat, besides a few. Like Hogwarts, some people say it's an amazing game, it looks great on Nintendo Switch or whatever. And Crisis 2, like I just brought up, beautiful game, it's a PS4 game on Nintendo Switch. It runs extraordinarily well, which I was surprised by. And so, again, there's that double standard. You can release a big Nintendo Switch, but you do it right. And Turn Me Up didn't do it right. So, again, who knows where this will end up? And, give or take a month, maybe even 2 months or 3 months. We don't know. But what we can hope for is the hope that Arkham Knight can run a lot better after that first patch. And hopefully that'll be it for the major things, and they can focus on the little tiny things like that lag spike here and there that you would get in Arkham City and Asylum, or you used to get. I don't know if it's still in Asylum or not. Gonna have in place since before the patch for Asylum release, but those little things don't really matter. I don't care if I get a lag spike every like couple hours or hell even 30 minutes. It's better than we're getting right now, which is literally a lag spike anytime you move your character in Arkham Knight. A lag spike anytime you get in the car. Anytime you fight the thugs on the street in Gotham and Arkham Knight, you get a lag spike, which I don't know if you've noticed, but most of the time kind of ruins your combo, and it screws up the experience for you. At least for me it did. Being an Arkham fan and loving the Arkham games, it kind of ruins it. So there needs to be something done for Arkham Knight. What that can be, I don't know. But I'm hoping that they will figure it out sooner rather than later. I think we all kind of are. But I'm going to comment down below. Do you think Arkham Knight can be fixed on Nintendo Switch? Do you think it should be taken off? What do you think should be done? And let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. Just safe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.